truly before now, I didn't really know what actually a mouthpiece was designed for, other than to keep you from clinking your teeth together or biting your tongue. I had no idea that it was to align your jaw. The season that we did not use the Power Plus, we lost 4 kids, 2 that were season-ending concussions, and obviously we contributed to the Power Plus mouth guard because, like I said, we've not had one since we've been using them. Obviously, we've competed a lot better than what we did last year. We have not had a concussion this season. Obviously, a tremendous factor for us for not losing kids, and their performance level is a lot higher as well. My son was actually the quarterback on the second state championship team, but one of the things that he was able to do as being the quarterback, the mouth guard was on the lower part of his bite, so he was able to speak clearly. And that's a huge thing in athletics, is to be able to communicate.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie, and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. So like and subscribe and check us out.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.
The Northeast Texas Sports Network is dedicated on delivering the most entertaining sports broadcasts in East Texas. And if you're interested in having your next sporting event streamed live, visit us online at netsn.live.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 2, Beasts from the East Show. It's your boy, Brett Swinney here. I got Jeremy Hubbard, Mr. Red Zone, Kyle Owens, and Vincent Johnson with me tonight. Guys, how's it going?
Man, going good.
What's up?
Man, just want to give a shout out to our newest sponsor for this show, Power Plus Mouth Guards. I'm most throw this one to the coach. Coach Hubbard, you ever had anybody use those Power Plus Mouth Guards?
Man, we've never had Power Plus mouth guards specifically, but I do understand the importance of not just the regular old mouth guards like we used when we were in school, man. The ones that you stick down in the boiling water if you were lucky and kind of mold them. But it's those things are super important, and I saw the ad with Coach Keeling talking about how important they are for all the different reasons. You think it's to protect your mouth, but it's help with concussions. It's and then a mouth guard that the quarterback can use to talk. Come on, man, like that's a good deal. So we're glad to have Power Plus mouth guards on board, and I look forward to learn more about them and what they can offer.
Yeah, looks like they need to hook up Brook Hill with a shipment of Power Plus mouth guards.
Hey, man,
yeah, looks like it might be on the way.
I'm all about swag.
Maybe we'll sell some mouth guards to Brookhill. That would be awesome. Guys, man, big week one. A lot of great games we picked last week. But first thing I want to announce or show everyone is, we had that Pick'em Challenge. We had 111 people participate in the first week of our Pick'em Challenge here at NETSN. Last year, we looked to have probably 15 to 20 in each week. So it's huge. Thanks, East Texas, for downloading the app, for participating. And we have 2 people in the lead, and we'll announce that on our wrap-up show this Wednesday night. But I want to show everyone. We'll show this again. But we have our championship belt for the winner of the overall pick'em this year at NETSN. Now, it's the
Hold on.
Yes.
Wait a second. Why does that look like a miniature version of your belt?
It is a miniature
belt.
No,
That's a little baby belt.
We've got the icon, the wrap-up show. We've also got our Azalea Orthopedic sponsorship on it. This is the belt we have right now.
That's dope though. But it's just a little tiny belt.
They can put this on their table and have it on their table at the house.
Well, I mean, after my performance in the first week, I don't think I'm in danger of this problem, but I don't think it's going to fit around my waist. I'm going to be honest with you. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to get that to the little one.
So here's the deal. In year 2, as we grow and we have more people and more sponsorships, maybe the belt can increase in size. But we did go out and get one this year this is for anyone who wins it. So whoever finishes with the top score on the year, we'll take that home. Get it to them.
Okay.
So
there's so many wrestling jokes, Kyle, that we could make, but we'll wait for later. Another wrestling show. Yeah. But anyway.
Well, I haven't even watched it yet, so I don't know anything that happens. But that's anyway. But I'm with you though, Jeremy. I think after my performance in week 1, I don't know if I need to wear that little miniature belt right now.
Yeah,
I saw my name next to Corey Marshall's. I knew I was in trouble.
I think mine was under his, so I knew it was a bad week.
The question is, did y'all finish above intern Claire's band selections?
Oh, I didn't.
I don't know. I'm going to go look right now. I'm going to go get on the NETSN app right now and look, by the way, because I'm concerned. Maybe I'm not.
And intern Claire and Keith had something going on this evening. Weren't able to make it do our recording, but I'm concerned about.
Gosh, I'm even.
Am I under or above?
I'm going to be honest with you, Kyle. Let's see.
I might be under,
Kyle,
man.
You're above me, man. You were 6-4.
Okay.
I was 5-5. Corey was 5-5. Vince was 5-5, and and Claire was 5-5, and she picked based on bands. So.
You skipped me, Jeremy.
Wow.
What was I, Jeremy?
I don't even know, Brett. I didn't see your name anywhere down here.
You're not in our little group, Brett.
Yeah,
you're way up at the top. You're not in our group.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
but our guy Brandon Ogden is above you, Brett. But I don't want to bring you down too. But Brett, 7-3. Congrats. I guess.
Yeah. Brandon was ahead of me. Okay. Well, good news is, guys, there are weekly winners too. So you can scratch all those picks off from last week for the weekly challenge, and we're going to talk about week 2. That's the good news about this contest. It is overall, but there's a lot of weeks left, so you got plenty of time. You never know what kind of upsets are going to happen. Players get suspended, injuries happen. It can really mess with the picks. So you've got lots of chances coming up. Week 1 is over. Week 2 is on the board now, and we have game 1 is Troop Carlisle. A really good matchup, small school wise for me. I like both teams. They both started the year off on a good note. But Troop, they were impressive in week 1. And I'm gonna stay with Troop in this one. I think the senior class they've got, Coach Wells has them rolling early. I'm gonna pick Troop in this opening or the second week game, guys. Who you guys got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Troop too. I mentioned last week, I think Carlisle's ceiling is a lot higher than maybe Troop's in terms of the postseason, but just with the kids they have, you mentioned that senior class, and man, when you put up 70, it doesn't really matter who it's against. 70 points is hard to get to, and White Oak, may not be a state contender, but they're not going to be a slouch, all year long. They're going to be competitive. So I'm going to go with Troop. I think Carlisle's a good team and a good win for them last week, but Troop probably have a little too much for them this week.
I coming into this, I had in my head I was going to go with Carlisle, and then both of y'all picked Troop. So now I'm kind of questioning what I'm doing here.
Kyle, maybe you should see what the bands have.
We were told last week Troop's good. That's what we were told.
I think I'm still going to go with Carlisle only because I think they got the most recent pedigree for being a postseason team, and I think that I know it's the second week of the season, but I do agree with you, Jeremy, that putting 70. Hey, me and Brett were at a game last week where a team dropped 70, so it's very hard to do.
And that wasn't even the highest scoring game on NETSN last week.
No, it wasn't.
Crazy.
But you're right. If you put up 70 points, you're doing something right. I just think Carlisle beat Harleton this past week, and I think Harleton is just a tough-nosed team. So that's kind of why I think it was a closer game. I expect this one to be close as well, but I'm going to stick with Carlisle.
Man, I feel like I'm about to say exactly what Kyle said. Coming into this, in my head I was gonna pick Carlisle. Troop had a good week. Carlisle won. Man, y'all all sound convincing. That's the thing. Like, y'all sound convincing. I'm gonna go with my heart saying Carlisle. My heart is saying Carlisle. I'm gonna pick Carlisle, but it's not because of my heart. It's because I gotta make sure that I get a leg up on Brett right now.
Oh,
So
if you're already with Troop, with me, Corey, that's gonna be up for me. I mean, sorry, I meant to say Vince. I'm looking at Corey. You're already concerned about me in week one.
We got too much of a separation between us right now. We got too much of a separation. I don't like it.
Don't do it, Vince.
You know,
it's
last
just 2
year
games, Vince. Don't do it.
Last year I stayed tight with him till the end. I got to get back up there. So I'm gonna go with Carlisle for that reason. Carlisle, please. Please.
We're begging in week 2. We're begging in week 2.
All right, we're gonna see if we got Corey here. Let's see if he's ready for us. Corey, Troop, and Carlisle, who you got?
I wasn't ready, first and foremost.
Troop
and Carlisle, I have no idea. Troop and Carlisle, I'm gonna go with Troop.
Okay.
Troop's got the best band. It's probably a good pick, Corey. We decide that's a good method.
Got the best player.
They do have the best player. Player.
It's true. It is true. All right, that's the game 1. Game 2, Garrison, and maybe the biggest upset of the week, possibly. ARP. And guys, Garrison was impressive in week 1. I believe they were another team that put up over 70. There was several of those this week. And like you guys said, you put up 70 points, it's going to be tough. I love my ARP Tigers, but this week I've got to win the contest. So I'm going with Garrison in this game.
No, nobody. All right. Well, I guess I'll go then.
I don't.
Everybody quiet at the same time. I think that I was surprised that Art beat Joaquin. I think Joaquin's a really good team.
That's why I didn't want to say
Art to come out there and beat him, that's impressive.
Hey, me and Corey tried to tell you guys, man. ARP last week.
You did. You did.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, this is a tough one. I don't know if that was, and this is going to sound like a slight to ARP, and that's not what I mean. But I don't know if Joaquin just maybe got caught napping in week 1, and ARP kind of. And granted, ARP had to come out there and play a good game to beat him, but maybe caught him napping a little bit and jumped on him. I got to go with Garrison.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Garrison. I think they're going to win the game. But I will say this. I don't think – we talked about that perfect storm last week for ARP and Joaquin. I basically said you had all summer. If you're Joaquin with that offense, and though you lost some guys, maybe you can fill in those spots. But ARP had all summer to work on it. We talked about that a few times. And Coach Sminky being a defensive guy. And ARP,
yeah,
so
you're right.
Good win for them.
Right.
And listen, I I think that probably says more about ARP than it does Joaquin, even if you're asking me, because I think we all talked about last week. ARP has some guys that are on the verge; they just have to prove it. I think Garrison's just way too good right now. 72 points in that win over Hugh Springs, 72-0. And I think Garrison's a team. They're not underrated by any means, but I don't think they're maybe getting the love they need to in that classification. I think the Bulldogs get them a win.
I'm going for ARP.
You gonna go,
say
Corey?
ARP as well. Yeah, I'm going for ARP. But you can say ARP. It's okay. Say ARP.
Man, Garrison won 72-0. How
No
good
matter
is
what
he?
they did last week. The real question is, how good is ARP?
Yes, man. I even went to go watch highlights, and all the highlights are showing Joaquin moving the ball, but yet they don't score. Which again goes back to how good is ARP to keep them out of the end zone like that. Man, I'm gonna go. All right, I'm gonna go ARP. I'm going ARP. I'm brave. I'm
He's just
muscle up
gonna
on this
go.
one.
He's gonna pick whoever I pick. He's gonna pick the
No.
opposite.
I'm believing in ARP. I'm gonna
Well,
believe in ARP.
We're going to find out about
And that
ARP
too.
this week because in that district, Joaquin was picked second, Garrison right below him in third. We're going to find out how good ARP is, or we're going to find out how bad Joaquin may end up being this year. But I don't think it's a crazy pick, Brett. I mean,
No,
we're
I
both
don't.
picking Garrison, but I could easily be persuaded to be on the other side if I had long enough to think about it.
Well, and if Garrison had won 35-14 week one, then I may be looking at hey, let's look ARP. But you beat somebody 72-0.
72-0.
I
That's
don't
what makes me
care.
nervous.
I don't care what the team is on the other side to beat them, like, because you're going to put in some, and Jeremy knows this. You put in some subs. I mean, you're not going to play your number ones the entire time with that kind of score. So that they didn't give up any points at all, and they still probably piled on points on this with the second team. That tells me maybe Garrison's pretty deep as well.
Well, it's that we talked about last week. Maybe you don't show everything in week one. But on the flip side of that,
true.
You spend so much time working over the summer and preparing for week one. Either when I see a 72-0, I either think Hugh Springs just may not be that good, number one. Okay, but number two, maybe they're holding something back, or Garrison just really is so good that it didn't matter they had all summer. I mean, there's all kind of factors.
They're not. Yeah, they could not just. They may say we don't match up well against them, and we're not gonna show them everything.
Yeah,
you know.
Now I got to be honest. That's probably the least likely thing. I think one team's really good and one team is really bad. But I think we're going to find out about ARP. If they can, even if they keep it close and lose this game, I'm still a believer in what they did beating Joaquin last week.
They lost a close game last year against Garrison. They got blown out by Joaquin. Just like you said, they had all summer prepared for Joaquin. And if I'm gonna play anybody, I'm prepared for a triple option also.
For sure.
Like my whole 2 days is gonna be how to prepare this triple option. We can cover some other stuff later. We're not getting beat 48-14. So, but I still think they beat Garrison. You know, it's one of those where you got over the hump, and it's a surprising thing. Like it's if I'm coaching my guys and I'm in the locker room, I'm telling them, you don't go back from week one. You beat a very good team in week one. You don't go back from here. You can't take a step back.
You got to double down on that.
You got to move forward. Yeah. Like that's how we progress. And if they go 2-0, you could go 3-0.
Man,
it's not hard. You have to progress.
They go 2-0. They on everybody's radar.
Hey, if they go 2-0, they got a really good chance of going 3-0 because they got Carlisle in week 3. They got a tough non-district schedule.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Regardless, we're gonna find out about ARP in the first 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Troop and ARP is gonna wind up being a very good game this year. I have a feeling.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to skip mine to go to that one.
Don't do that.
don't do that to yourself.
Vince, you come coach the D-line that week, and I'll go watch the game.
Man,
it'll be fine. They know what they're doing. Well, maybe not. I don't know, but they know what they're doing.
Don't tease him, Jeremy. Don't tease him.
Yeah. Coach told me I'm supposed to be out here. I brought my own whistle.
All right, game 3. The game I'll be calling this week is Chapel Hill hosting Van. I'm just gonna say the word to me is revenge in this game, and Chapel Hill is going to be hungry. They remember them getting beat by Van in Van last year. I think it's Chapel Hill by as many touchdowns as Coach Reardon lets them score.
Yeah, they're not
One
losing
thing
this game.
one thing I heard last night or Friday night after the game in that circle was that same word was used by Coach Reardon and the players with revenge season. So, and what I saw Friday night from Chapel Hill, there's no reason they shouldn't beat Van by, like you said, as much as they want. They got Chapel Hill has so much speed, and they got some good size too. Van's going to play them hard. Van's going to be well coached and disciplined, but yeah, I think Chapel Hill wins. 3 or 4
Kyle's gonna be
touchdowns.
wearing his Chapel Hill shirt all year long, guys. He's
Look,
ready.
I like the pregame for Chapel Hill. Got me so hyped up. I'm a fan.
Oh, and yeah, if you haven't checked out Kyle's video he posted, Kyle, tell him how you can find you on YouTube because you did a great job with that.
Yeah, just go to YouTube and you can just search Chapel Hill Gilmer highlights. It'll pop up. Then you'll see my profile. It's on my Facebook. It's on my TikTok. I posted it to Twitter. It's everywhere.
And
So yeah, go check it out. It's really good.
You'll be doing that all year long with all your games are at, correct?
Yep.
So if you like to see good highlights and good things cut up, go follow Kyle on YouTube.
And see, Corey, I told you I could edit some videos, man. I tried to tell you.
I got hyped. I was watching on YouTube. I was like, wait a minute, let me see. At first, I saw it on Twitter. I was like, I got a little, okay. Then the video came on. I was like the hair on my arm standing up. I'm like, yeah, all right. I'm a sucker for a good pregame speech, man.
And Kyle, you said that you could tell, like after they left the locker room, that they were going to win. You had that feeling.
Yeah. Well, when you break out some zero and then go into some Bill Withers, you're destined to win. I mean, when you go zero to Bill Withers, you're destined to win. No, you could just tell that they had a quiet confidence. Like you could just tell in the locker room, like they knew that they had a job to do and they were going to go out there and complete that task no matter what. And it was back and forth in that first half, especially. But yeah, Chapel Hill they got that dog in them. They pulled away from them.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'm taking Chapel Hill by as much as possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I got Chapel Hill by a lot, and I'll be the first one to say I picked Gilmer last week, and really was like, man, I just don't think. Okay, they're good. They're really good, and and like we're talking AT&T Stadium good, right? I mean, and to see the highlights from the quarterback, and I saw Coach Reardon posted on Twitter, and he's like best quarterback in the nation, and I'm like, okay, and then I watched highlights, and I was like, okay, maybe he's pretty good. Okay, to put the numbers he did against Gilmer, I know the scoring was up there, and so the numbers were kind of skewed. I'm just. Man, I was really disappointed that I didn't have huge expectations for Van, but to only beat Pine Tree last week by a touchdown, who's, Pine Tree is what Pine Tree is, and I think Van's
Pine Tree ain't bad.
Well,
Pine Tree's not bad.
I know, but we're talking about Chapel Hill versus Pine Tree level. It's not
true.
We're not in the same stratosphere.
Yeah,
I think Chapel Hill is going to make another statement this week. If Coach Reardon's speaking the words revenge every week, then the statement's going to just continue to be made each week, and it's no slowing down. And I'm a huge fan of the quarterback and what they're doing. They're going to win this one by as much as they want.
I agree. I think Chapel Hill is loaded and hungry. Now I did pick Gilmer last week, but again, I picked that based off of
you deserve to be below me. Then you picked Gilmer.
No. I the thing is, I'm doing this off of because I don't like to do that preseason thing because anybody could beat anybody, right? And we don't really know who people are yet until they play each other. So, based off of what I saw last year, that's the only thing I had to go off of. So, but Friday night was crazy. I text Corey at one point, and he told me I couldn't tell what the score was. He told me what the score was, and I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's getting crazy." He said, "Ain't no defense played, but at the same time, Chapel Hill is up."
Gilmer couldn't.
And Gilmer got away, and he was telling me how Gilmer got away with a couple of things. So I was like, okay. But yeah, I'm picking Chapel Hill to win this. Obviously, Van is good, but I don't know that Pine Tree. I mean,
watched that game today.
You're not going to.
I watched the game last night.
If you can't put up the kind of numbers Chapel Hill put up, in this week one, if you can't do something like that, I mean, they're gonna run away with it. You know, you got to be able to put up some numbers. I don't think Van can do that. I think Van is still a good team, though. I just don't think that they could do what Chapel Hill is capable of doing. Chapel Hill could run away with any game they play this year. You know, kind of like how if you look at NFL stuff, NFL like you got Kansas City at times will just run away with a game. You know, um, Chapel Hill has that ability, so I'm definitely going Chapel Hill. I'm not finna make that mistake twice. sorry, Ridden.
Glad you learned your
So
lesson. Glad you learned your lesson, Vince.
so obviously I'm going Chapel Hill, but I'm more anxious to see what the defense does. Um, and like I said, they're going to win the state championship. Defense got to make plays. They made
Mhm.
quite a few plays, but the second half was a tell of the tape. I mean, he didn't really tell the whole story of the game because they still dominated the second half. Um, but I'd like the defense to pitch a shutout. Like if
Mm.
you want to talk about a complete game, like we pitch a shutouts. Like this is when I know that my team we're rolling right now. Like I know it's tough. You put up 52 points in week one. You gave up 52 points in week one. Now we pitch and shutout this time. Like there's no reason why we're not letting them score a field goal. Nothing. Like we want shutouts. We want complete dominance in the game. That's what they're going for. I tell people this. Ricky Stewart played three quarters, and had 292 yards.
Mhm.
Yeah, he had
Chapel
Great
Hill.
cramps.
dude.
Many points you want to.
He had cramps
He's
the
very
third
Many
good.
points you
quarter.
want to, though.
Yeah, he didn't
Man,
play.
I don't care. He putting up Bo Jackson stats. Come on, dog. That's at no point. He played baseball in the third quarter, came back and ran the fourth quarter. Like what? Come on, man. Hey, I don't know, man. SMU. I don't know, bro. No, change your mind real quick.
Mm.
There's
They
a
getting the
school down.
steal if you ask me.
There's a school down there in Austin that may need to stop
Hey,
by.
also today, I'm not talking about Texas no more. You got Colorado, man. You got freaking Nebraska. You got Arkansas. You got LSU. You got Bama. Man. Hey, I don't know. Mm.
Mm.
They're juniors. That's
Yeah,
stupid. All
still
right,
got
I'm done.
time. Yeah, lots
I'm
of time.
done with it.
Yeah, to get stronger and faster. Okay, so that's game 3. Game 4. This is an interesting one to me right here. Jasper Palestine, game 4. Palestine took an L last week. I kind of that was out of the blue for me. I was surprised in that one. I was surprised that they lost. I think it was a Nacogdoches who they lost to. Really shocking to
I
me.
said, watch out for Nacogdoches last. Didn't I
You
say
did
that
say
last
that, but you also were high on Palestine this year, Corey. So
But I still said watch out for Nacogdoches. I thought they were better
yeah,
than what they thought.
yeah,
Just saying.
you
Just
did
saying.
say that. You did say that. They've got their own game that's going to give them a handful this week, though. I'm going with Jasper this week, man. I think the Jasper is just a superior team right now. Palestine, I don't know what they have right now. They came off, they lost to Nacogdoches. They hadn't shown me anything yet this year, so I'm gonna go with Jasper, guys. Who you guys got?
I
I'm
got
gonna go
Jasper.
with
I'm.
yeah.
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say I got Jasper. I'm just gonna. I'm not. I'm not talking bad about Palestine, but I got Jasper. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I got Jasper.
I think I'm going to take Palestine because they played up a classification to take on NAC last week, and really played them close. Only lost by 40-36. I have no idea who Houston Kincaid is that Jasper beat 19-6. I know nothing about him, but I do know about NAC. So familiarity, I'm going with Palestine. Jasper does have a dog at linebacker though. That's gonna be a problem. Palestine's got to figure out how to block him, but if they can, I'm taking Palestine. Taking Palestine.
I'm gonna go with Jasper. The one thing they do in there is play defense, and it doesn't. They give up points from time to time, but they always find a way to do it. And yeah, Palestine played up against Nacogdoches, but I'll tell you what I've learned about Palestine over the last, I don't know, 10, 15 years is there's never just that consistency where you know what they're going to be. It's always when you think they're going to be good, they're average. When you think they're going to be average, they find themselves in state semifinals. Like That's kind of been the trend with them, and I don't know what they are yet, and I'm not sure I know what Jasper is yet, but I know that over the last 10 years, if you're going to have those two teams match up, you're going to be ahead if you're putting money on Jasper every time. I'll go with the Bulldogs. And you're right, the defensive guy they got, KO, is good luck stopping him. You have to figure it out and get away from him. I don't know if they can. I'm going to go with Jasper.
Jasper, another Bulldog. I think it's going to be a close game because I think Palestine was long. Palestine was young last year. A lot of people gave him a lot of credit for competing and making the playoffs, and that's why they were kind of the dark horse in the district. Jasper's rolling. I don't know if y'all remember. I remember 20 years ago, Jasper was just one of those teams that just every year it's like 10-9-1. It's like an old John Tyler.
NFL
like a 73-year Jasper wasn't good. So they have a very good tradition, very rich tradition in football. So they brought that luster back a little bit, and I don't think it's going to go away. They've always had great athletes. Always had great athletes in Jasper. Crockett too. I don't know what's going on with Crockett. But anyway, but I'm picking Jasper. It's going to be a tough game for Palestine.
All right. Game 5. White House, Jacksonville. Two teams coming off losses in week 1. White House took the loss to North Forney. Jacksonville lost to Sulphur Springs. I think I'm going with White House in this game. I think, I'm going to hope that their 2 players that were suspended last week are going to be back. I think they're just going to be a little bit better. Jacksonville, to me, I think they're up and coming, but they didn't. They had a game last week and they had a couple injuries late, I believe, and so don't know the status. I think those players are going to miss a game or two. So I'm just going to stick with White House and hope that their players are unsuspended this week. So that's what I'm going to go with.
Well, I think I'm torn on this one too. Like you said, both of them coming off a loss. White House, I didn't know that White House had a couple players suspended.
Their best 2 players. Their best 2 players were suspended on Thursday night. So
that changes it for me a little bit. I was kind of leaning towards Jacksonville until I heard that. I think I'm going White House. I'm going with the dub.
Yeah, I'm going White House too. I told you guys last week, Jacksonville,
they're going to kick you out. They're going to kick you out of the city, there, Jeremy.
It's okay. It's okay. Here's the thing: they're just not very good. They're just not very good, and they haven't been good for a while. Now they've got another young quarterback, another McCown in the program, young guy, but he's just now getting there, right? And he's going to be just fine, like his brother was, and all the rest of the family. But White House is a better football team. If White House has their players back, they win the game, and it won't even be close. Jacksonville's just not a good football team as we sit here today.
I like the way you put that. I'm going with White House too. I'm going to White House. So ain't nothing else to say about it. Yeah, that was a good take on it.
Faith in the tribe. No faith. Hands down, Jacksonville probably has one of my favorite helmets of all time. The old Jacksonville helmet has a little tribe on it. It was blue and gold. I was a little kid. I was always a fan of that. That just meant something because they were always good and they had that tribe. That was cool back then, especially the John Tyler Cujo. That was always cool. I'm not over picking Jacksonville. Jacksonville was beating Sulphur Springs for the most part, and I thought that was a confidence builder for a team that's not very good. But sometimes if you let an inexperienced team hang around or not so good or average team hang around, after a while they start to play a little above average, and that could have happened against Sulphur Springs. Of course, it's week 1. I'm picking Jacksonville with the upset. I'm thinking, maybe the coaches can pull a rabbit out of the hat and say, you know what, guys, we can compete with these guys. We can beat these guys. They were on our level. We're just a little bit below their level this year. We were all 5A last year, the year before. We played them before. We can beat them. Change the mindset, you win the game. But I think they can come out here with an upset. That's what I'm thinking.
All right. Game 6, Tatum Dangerfield. Ooh, this is a juicy matchup. Tatum coming off a really good high-powered offensive performance last week, but their defense didn't do so well against center. I don't know. This is going to be a tough one to me. I know Dangerfield always has great athletes on the field, but you never know what you're going to get out of them. I'm going to go with Tatum. And the reason why I'm going with Tatum is it's at Tatum at home. And I know they can score. They played a really good team in center last week. And so I think they're going to bounce back in week 2 and beat Dangerfield.
But here's the thing about it. You give up 80 last week, and the kid at center is a good quarterback, right? And if you give up, let's, if it's Gilmer and Chapel Hill, for example, right? They both give up a lot of points last week. Their next game's a little easier. Well, maybe not Gilmer, but we'll get there in a minute. So if you're Chapel Hill, you're not worried about it because you're going to play Van this week. Corey mentioned it. We're going to go pitch a shutout. If you're Tatum, you're going to catch Hampton, some of those other guys at Dangerfield. And if you couldn't, and with all due respect to the guy at center, if you can't catch him, you're not going to catch Hampton. And I think Dangerfield's going to score a bunch of points. Now, I think Tatum will score some points too, but I think Dangerfield wins the game. I think they score a bunch.
Yeah, I'm with you, Jeremy. I think this is another shootout this week between these two schools. Chase Johnson at quarterback, though, for Dangerfield. And like you mentioned, Aaron Hampton, dynamic playmaker. I don't see Dangerfield losing this game. I think it's going to be high scoring. I think both teams probably score in the 40s or 50s, but I think Dangerfield pulls it out at the end.
Giving up 80. I'm sorry, I can't go with that. I just can't. I'm sorry, something's wrong. Something's wrong when you give up 80. And I don't know what it is.
80.
I can't forgive 80. I don't know what it is, but you got to figure it out first, and you ain't gonna figure it out in 5 days. So, I'm going with Dangerfield.
You know what sucks about this? It's almost like the NCAA basketball. Like, that's what I love about NCAA basketball. No matter what you do in week 25, no matter what you do the first 25 weeks, when you get in conference play, that's the only thing that matters. You just building a resume, but if you have a very good conference, that's the only thing that matters. You give up 80 points against a mid-major in week 2, nobody cares. They're going to look at you crazy, but it doesn't matter. Wow. You win the next 22 games, and you beat Duke by 1 and somebody else, but it doesn't matter. That's not gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? You just win. You just get 25, 27 wins. You're in Power 5 conference. You're going to the NCAA tournament. You're going to the dance. It ain't gonna matter. As much as I want to pick Dangerfield, Jeremy, you alluded to it last week, I believe. This is just something right in Dangerfield. I don't know what it is. You got athletes, and you just can't put it together. And they may have some of the best athletes outside of Gilmer and Carthage anywhere else. This may not have a lot of them. The whole team is full. Quarterback is, I'm picking Tatum.
But the big,
ain't gonna let this one go.
The headline to come out of that whole speech that he just gave was that he referred to center as a mid-major, is what I gathered out of that.
It's not. I would consider 4A Division 1. I consider 4A period a mid-major.
Coach Surratt's calling.
That he would be Gonzaga.
Coach Rio's
still a mid-major.
Coach Rio's calling me here on the phone. Do I need to answer that and send it over, transfer to Corey?
There's nothing wrong. There is nothing. How many mid-majors have made it to the Elite Eight and Final Four in the past 10 years?
They don't win it, though.
We need a whole nother show.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
But I got I get what you're saying, Corey. You're not wrong on what you're saying.
We understand. We just got to give you.
I got to add a little sprinkle to the show. All
right, Game 7. Kilgore Gilmer. Man, talk about a juicy one, guys. I don't know if the Carthage just play with Kilgore last week and just squeak away with the win. Kilgore played them a lot closer, I think, than anybody thought they were going to. Because out of the 111 picks last week, 4 people picked Kilgore to win, and they were in the game the entire game. And then you got Gilmer, who just gave up a bunch of points to Chapel Hill here. I don't know. I wasn't all that impressed with Gilmer as a whole. I thought they were one dimensional to me more than they have been in the past. Like their passing game was kind of non-existent. And I know Kilgore. They've got I can't think of the kid's name, but they've got a DB that's going D1. I can't off the top of my head, but he's a really good defensive back. So I don't think they're going to be able to pass. And Kilgore usually has pretty good line. I haven't got to see Kilgore this year yet, but if they played Carthage that close, I'm thinking they're going to be pretty solid. So I'm going to go with Kilgore over Gilmer this week.
The kid you're thinking of is Zaylen Stoker.
Thank you,
DB.
Kyle. Yes.
Yeah, seeing Gilmer last week. Let's not forget, Gilmer still put up 53. Like yes, Chapel Hill put up 71. Gilmer still put up 53. So I think that's kind of been forgotten in us talking about these games. I know we're going to do a wrap up on Wednesday where we'll go into more detail, but for this pick, I'm impressed with Kilgore that they kept it that close with Carthage. I didn't see that coming at all. Kilgore's going to be tough. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a really good game. Man. I'm going with Gilmer.
That's when you know this is a good game, when you have to like really think about it and like you just you flip a coin almost in this one. I mean,
I think Kilgore's probably going to be bigger, but I think Gilmer's got more speed. I don't think Kilgore's going to be able to keep up with Gilmer. Yeah, so I'm taking Gilmer.
Okay.
But the human brain is a funny thing, right? Let's think about this. If you're Kilgore, you're coming into this week losing by 3 to Carthage last week, a team that nobody gave you a shot to beat, except for the 4 people in the end. You lose by 3 to the best team in the history of the last 20 years in East Texas, maybe even the state, right? Now Gilmer rolls in. We lost by 18 to Chapel Hill last week. We still hadn't stopped anybody from scoring. Where's your mindset at this point, right? And as someone who coaches kids on a daily basis, I'm going Kilgore because I know what those kids' mindset is versus what the other kids' mindset is. And I'm telling you that's going to be a factor in the game because they're both – you got Stoker, as you mentioned. You got the quarterback, Williams. When you have your best athlete under center, give me them. Give me Kilgore to knock off Gilmer. And Gilmer starting 0-2. That didn't happen in a long time, but I think that's what we're going to get.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Jeremy. Did not see Kilgore losing it. Man, I almost want to say Kilgore won that game. And secretly, I was when I saw the score, it was in the fourth quarter, and I was almost like pushing. I was like, please knock them off for all the state of Texas. Just knock them off right now. But the mindset. If I'm Gilmer, my mindset is, all right, we played a really hard team. We played a really tough team in Chapel Hill. They can drop some numbers, but obviously us scoring 50, we could drop numbers too. I'm not afraid of Kilgore. If I'm Kilgore, though, in my mind, it's like we held them to only 30. We held one of the best teams in the state, probably in the last decade. So we held them to only 30 points, and we almost won. I mean, we were able to put up 27.
I
went back and looked.
They were leading at one point, Vince.
They were. So, and I went back and looked. The closest game that they played goes back to the 2021 season, where they lost to China Springs. And then at the beginning of that year, they won a game by 3 points. Last year they just blew out everybody they played. If I'm Kilgore, my mindset is I know we're good. I know we about to run the table because of what I just showed everybody Friday night. I'm that mindset is dangerous. I feel like they finna come in and they gonna rock. They gonna rock Gilmer. I feel it coming. They gonna rock them. So, and that defense, you know what? Brett said something. I'm gonna give you some credit for this, Brett.
Wow,
You
let me
said
record
something.
this. Let me record you. Give me credit.
This is one time. I'm gonna give you credit. So you hold on to this one as long as you need it.
Okay.
Brett said something. I think it was. I don't know if it was. Yeah, it was last week. I think he talked about Carthage and he said this might be the year to beat them because of the sophomore quarterback. And the sophomore quarterback did play good, but he was out there making a few. I'll say mistakes, but man, it's not what they're used to out of the quarterback play. So I know as far as Carthage is concerned, they're probably looking at their team like, okay, we got to tighten up on a few things, obviously. But Brett might be right about this. It might be the time where people can get the best of them. Next year they probably gonna run the table again. They probably gonna start blowing out everybody again as that kid gets older. But right now, you could tell he's out there. He's not trusting what he's seeing right now. Actually, I was watching some highlights where he was, like he threw a couple of picks, and there's that split second where you hesitate, and you don't know if you see it or not, and he's not confident in those moments yet. So, this might be the time where somebody's gonna do it. Somebody's knocking him off this year. I did say Center was gonna do it. I said that on another pod that we did, but it might happen before Center. I don't know. But I think he was on to something with that. So I'm going with. I said all that to say this. I'm going with Kilgore. I believe Kilgore gonna do it. So
Kilgore for sure, huh? Kilgore for sure. I saw a stat. Coach Surratt has only lost 2 games in a regular season in 10 years. He's like 98-2.
Yeah.
And that's stupid. But anyway, that is ridiculous. But think about this: does Gilmer lose 2 games in a row, or does Kilgore bounce back and win a game that they should have won? They knew they would let one go. That's the storyline. Are they able to bounce back from a tough loss? And is Gilmer going 0-2? Which one do you believe? Do you believe Gilmer's going to go 0-2, or Kilgore bounce back from barely beating probably the best team in the past 20 years? That's the storyline right now. Do I think I told y'all before I didn't think Carthage was as good as they were. I thought Gilmer was young last year. I think they got some good skilled players. Do I think Kilgore is better? I think Kilgore represents the district. So I'm gonna go with the district that Chapel was playing in. I mean, because last year, if you think about it, they both tapped us on the head. And so hey, if you're coaching in the district, Jeremy knows. Hey, do us a favor. Yeah, we got you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Kilgore's gonna win. Kilgore's gonna win. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They know what's up. It's that time.
All right. Game 8. A big rivalry game here. We talked about one of these teams a little bit earlier. Nacogdoches coming on a big win at week 1 in Palestine. They go against their rival Lufkin. Guys, this is a one-sided rivalry, or it has been recently. Even when Lufkin's down, they still usually beat Nac. I'm going with the safe bet, and I'm going to go with the Lufkin Panthers to knock off Nacogdoches. As Corey, I know he's going to disagree with me probably because he's high on Nacogdoches, but I've got Lufkin.
I think Nacogdoches is going to be a lot better this year. I'm with Corey on that, but kind of like we're talking about the levels, right? It's not the same level, and Lufkin's going to win the game as well. But I'm going to let Corey take it all, but I think Nacogdoches is a lot better, but not this week.
Man, okay. So Nacogdoches, they played Palestine in week 1, and we believe, based off of everybody's thoughts here, we believe Palestine is one of those teams that they're not great, but they are a tough team to beat. They are a competitor. So that, to me, that says that Nacogdoches is already better than what they were the year before. I gotta go with. I don't even want to call it a safe bet, but I gotta go with Nac. I mean, I'm sorry, not Neck, not Neck. I'm sorry,
Whoa.
Lufkin.
What?
Oh my
I said
God!
that wrong.
My God.
I said that wrong.
I was just about to be proud of you. I was like, you go with your gut, man.
No.
Picking safe.
I'm going Lufkin. Let me write that down. In case I forget.
I'm going with the safe pick of the big underdog. Good job, man.
That slipped.
Oh no, y'all know where I'm going. I'm going with Nacogdoches. I roll with them, and you know they snuck away with. I thought Palestine was going to drum them. Honestly, I thought Palestine was going to roll them over. Palestine is not bad. They're a tough team to beat, but you know, Nacogdoches, like I said, you're not gonna just keep Nacogdoches. You're not gonna keep beating me like that. They had some wins last year where if you're a coach, you're like, yeah, guys, we gotta put some string of games together, and then you'll see the difference in the football team and the difference in everything else. Like we can win this game and this game and this game. Things can change. Lufkin's dominated this rivalry forever, and this is the best time to beat Lufkin. It's the time now. They're not as strong as they used to be. I know they're trying to gain that traction. I don't think they're gonna gain the traction this year. But I mean, what's East Texas without a good Lufkin and Tyler High football team?
Okay.
But Nacogdoches gets this one.
All right, Kyle, who you got?
I'm taking Lufkin. I've had to listen to y'all for these past two games. Y'all crowned Kilgore for losing a game to Carthage because they kept it close. I'm sorry, I didn't know we were giving medals for participation and coming in second.
Oh man!
I didn't know that. So now we're talking. Now we got. Oh well, Nac. They beat Palestine by 4 last week. They should have. They were supposed to. So I don't know what we're doing, hyping these teams up for no reason. Taking Lufkin.
Is this Professor Red Zone coming out?
Now I see why people be coming for this guy on Twitter.
What I do?
You gonna make somebody mad out there talking about their babies.
This is other persona. His other persona's coming out, Jeremy.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what his boss did to him in the last 5 minutes.
He turned heel real quick, didn't he?
I feel like my man's boss walked in and just kicked him one good time.
Listen, I'm not going heel. I'm just saying y'all all picked Kilgore to beat Gilmer on the basis that they played Carthage close. That don't make sense to me. I understand they played
because we thought they were all going to get blown out, and we're saying that they're better.
So we're rewarding them because they didn't get blown out, but they still lost. So we're rewarding them.
I'm just basing it on one game that we've seen. It's the only game we've seen. They played well against a team we thought was the best team in the whole history of schools. So to me, it tells me that they're pretty good. I mean, I didn't give them a belt for.
There's levels to this stuff, and NAC is not on level right now.
Okay, Kyle, will you please share your address with the group? Because whoever's closest needs to drive over there and give you a hug right now. I don't know what's going on with you. Like it was all good, and then all of a sudden it just happened.
Yeah,
it was all good until y'all all went against Gilmer and picked Kilgore because they kept it close.
What is this about? The screen went blank and he just changed personality. What is this? Who is this? Yeah. No, they're not doing it.
Somebody stole his sloth-toed girlfriend from him, and now he's angry.
Oh my gosh!
I'm just giving my opinion.
I feel like Kyle came in here with a chair and just started smacking everybody.
Oh man! All right,
Kenny Powers. I'm out.
Yeah. So we got 2 more games. We got 2 more rivalry games. Really intense rivalry games. Game 9, Marshall and Longview. Guys, I mean, as big a rivalry as this is, it's been one-sided. I mean, I'm not going against John King and the Longview Lobos. They're going to be so angry about losing that close game last week. They may have beat Marshall by 50.
Here we are talking about losing close games again. But I guess the good news, they both lost close games. You're right. It's hard to go against Coach King in this matchup and historically and what they've done. I can't, we're talking about Gilmer going 0-2 or Kilgore going 0-2. I can't imagine where Longview goes 0-2 in this one. They win the game. They'll get it fixed. And I'm so I mean, you got to think about Marshall. They almost won the game last week, but they had to get a miracle touchdown at the end to get into overtime, and then so I think Longview's going to win the game and probably convincingly.
I agree. There's no reason to look the other way here. Longview's going to win this, and honestly, I don't even know how many touchdowns they put up. All right, it's going to be whatever they want. So
The Longview Lobos.
Yeah, I'm taking Longview, but I think it's gonna be really close because Marshall, they nearly won last week, so they're an improved team. So I think it'll be a lot.
this guy.
No, but, I do think I really do though. I really think it's gonna be closer than y'all think though. Marshall coming off a close loss, just like Longview. Both of them lost by 2 points last week. So both of them kind of licking their wounds this week, trying to figure out how they go forward and improve on the season. I think Longview wins by a couple of touchdowns, but I don't think it's going to be by like 50 or not. I think it's going to be a little tighter, but I'm still picking Longview.
All right. And game 10, the Rose City Classic here. We have Tyler High and Tyler Legacy. Guys, this is it's the rivalry around the area. Whether the teams are good, bad, or ugly.
Don't matter.
This
matter
game,
who.
Throw out the record.
Yeah.
Throw out the records.
It don't matter.
I mean,
as long as you win this game.
They both have new coaches, so new systems. Tyler High got a win last week over Marshall. I mean, that was a big win for their first, game in the program for Coach Woods. Of course, Tyler Legacy played Lufkin. We know how good Lufkin is, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with Tyler High. I just think usually they're a little bit better than Legacy. I know they've gotten beat a couple of years ago, but their Legacy had the 2 running backs were just out of this world. But I'm going to go with Coach Woods and Tyler High this week to take this one.
I think I'm going to go Tyler High too, but I do think that this is going to be one of those games that gets played pretty close. These two teams, they know each other really well, so regardless to whether one is possibly better than the other, it won't really matter because, again, they know each other so well. So I'm just going to base it off of the relationships and stuff. I have family and friends on both sides, but I think I have more in Tyler High than I do I have closer in Tyler High than I do in Legacy. So I'm going to just go with Tyler High on that one.
I think the problem with this game is this. I'm not sure that either team knows who they are yet with new coaches. I think trying to figure that out is a big thing. I'm going to go with Tyler High too. I think they won the game, and I think it's because I think they're just better than Legacy is. But quick side note here, I keep my ear fairly close to the ground. And let me just tell my Tyler High people something. Get behind Coach Woods and what he's doing. Because what you had is no longer here. What you had obviously was not what was best for the program anymore, and you got a guy now that cares about your school and cares about your kids. Get off his back. He's about to go 2-0. He's going to win the Rose City matchup for the first time, and just trust the program, trust what he's doing. Don't worry about what's in the past. Don't worry about last year. Don't worry about who's not here and who's here. Worry about this guy and get behind him because, quite honestly, it's frustrating as a coach to hear the fact that there's a lot of people not behind this guy because he's a different name than the last one. Because you got what you need right now. Get behind him and go win some more games, and they're going to win this one.
That's a good speech, Jeremy. I've been hearing a lot about what you're talking about, and I don't understand it, but I don't know.
Coach Woods wins game on the field, not on Twitter. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
He's trying to win games on the field and not on Twitter. And it wasn't a downgrade to go to Coach Woods, regardless of what the last guy said. So just let him do his thing and let him win games.
Do his thing. Absolutely. It's like they had an opinion about him before he ever showed up. So.
100%.
Yeah.
None of the coaches are Allen Wilson. You're not going to get Allen Wilson back.
Nah.
I don't care. That's it. His last coach won state champion. You're not going to get Allen Wilson back. Deal with it. Chapel, you're not going to get Dickie Meeks back. Deal with it. You're not going to get the last coach we had. Deal with it. You can't bring those coaches back. Doesn't matter. Times change. Give a new coach an opportunity to come in. If he's not doing a good job outside the field and on the field, then you have a problem. Hindsight, I said outside the field, in the classrooms, everything else, you got to get rid of. I don't care how good the program is. Kids getting in trouble, not going to class, that. You have a problem in the program. We all know that. If you don't know that, then you probably need to check yourself. But anyway, I'm picking Tyler High because I believe that they go to, and I think they win convincingly. I really believe they win convincingly. That program needs, and I keep saying this before, man. Can you remember the last time Tyler wasn't good at football? Like, East Texas was better when Tyler High was John Tyler Cooch. It was just better when every game felt like a playoff game. Every game meant something. Even though, honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, I've never gone to a Tyler High football game ever in my life. I didn't need to. I mean, everybody talked about it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Every game was packed. You know what I'm saying? So it didn't matter. But this rivalry needs to be played on a Saturday, 2:00 on a Saturday when cooler weather. I'd rather do it. It deserves some type of big event. I don't care how bad the football team. Yes, we need a Saturday football game in Tyler. We need something happening.
Corey, I'm confused.
I'm fine
I think
with that.
the same way.
I'm
2:00.
I'm fine with that, but you said cooler, so you want to go to the heat of the day.
That's what I said.
No, I'm not talking about now. I'm talking about later. Doesn't have to be played now.
In October.
Yes, in October or something like that.
2:00.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
A little warmer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on, be realistic. It is not cool at 2:00 in the afternoon in August. That's not possible.
That's what I thought. That's why when you said move it to a Saturday afternoon at 2:00, so it's a little cooler, I was like, no, I don't think it will be.
I'm thinking down the schedule.
Okay.
I don't know there's any time that
October
2:00 in the
1st,
afternoon is going to be cooler than at night, Corey. Ever.
I don't want to play a night game. I have to play a night game all the time.
Well, you can play Saturday. How about Saturday night? If you want to put a game on Saturday night,
what's the difference between Saturday night and Friday night? It's a night game. Play in the afternoon.
Saturday, because everyone that went to the games on Friday could then attend on Saturday.
Okay, you play a Saturday afternoon game. You play playoff games in the afternoon.
Coaches hate Saturdays. I'm just going to tell you. That's why it doesn't happen. Coaches hate Saturdays. I mean, seriously.
I know they do. Unless it's a bye week. Unless both of y'all have a bye week. That's a little different.
That's one more day of fishing you take away from me, though, right? Not me, because I'm not a fisherman. I'm not a fisher. I like to be a catcher, not a fisher, Corey. But my fishing buddies, they like to go fishing an extra day.
Gotcha. I got you.
All right, Mr. Red Zone, what you got for this one?
Well, this is our Red Zone game of the week, by the way. So this is where I'll be Friday night at the Rose. Big win for Coach Woods and Tyler High last week over Marshall. 5 overtimes. It took them to do that. So big win. Legacy took a tough loss to Lufkin in Coach Trahan's first game. I don't think I agree with everything y'all are saying. And I kind of lean on Vince. I lean on you and Corey and Brett and Jeremy. I lean on y'all for more about information about these Tyler schools because I'm just now my dad graduated from JT, so I've been familiar with the Tyler schools. But I mean, like, y'all are more familiar with them than me. But to me, it doesn't make sense. You have a brand new coach, and you're already counting him out. Like he won the first game, yet you're talking about, well, he's not like the other. Yeah, you're right. He won. He just won a game. He's not like the other guys. You're right. So I mean, come on now. But
man, you have no idea. It's tough out there.
But
it's tough,
just
man.
blows
I'm
my
telling
mind.
you.
But I do think Tyler High is closer to getting back to their normal level than Legacy is. So because of that reason, I think Tyler High wins Friday night. Vince, I'm going to disagree with. I don't think it's going to be that close. I'm kind of with you, Corey. I think Tyler High wins this one pretty convincingly.
Think it's going to run? They're going to run away with it.
The only thing I can say
it
is
might.
21 points.
Sometimes these games, even if one team is better than the other, sometimes they tend to go. The rivalry games tend to be closer.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm
point.
saying.
It's a rivalry game. Anything can happen.
But that's a first half thing. That's a first half thing. Once you get to halftime, the better. Like if you're Tyler High, you got to weather that storm in the first half. You're the better team. Avoid that rivalry stuff in the first half. and then second half teams settle in. That's a first half thing. And I'm with you guys. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's a couple touchdown game. I'm not sure it'll ever be real close.
Coach Woods is gonna make a point. If I'm Coach Woods, I make a point. I'm talking
That's
shutout.
exactly right.
Blow them out.
Exactly right.
I want 70 to
You want
nothing.
to see it.
And then I'm gonna turn my Twitter on. I'm gonna look at the phone just like this all day.
Well, after you scroll through all the outfits of the day, you can just start talking about all the wins. Here's what I'm gonna say. I hope he's kept all the receipts. Vince and Corey.
Yeah.
I hope he kept all the receipts.
Yeah.
Because that's a good dude. Everybody I've ever talked to that's known the guy is a good dude, and I hope he kept all the receipts when they get back, because they're close. You're right, Kale. They're close.
Yeah. So just to, like, in the last couple of years, when they have played, if you go back to 2021, the score was 62 to 55.
One game, that debacle. Yeah. Like went over 20 overtime.
Didn't
last
Legacy's
year
only win
it was
over them come over, and it was like 4 or 5 overtimes that it took for Legacy to beat JT?
Yeah, that was last year. That was 29 to 27.
Yeah, okay.
The year before that, I believe Legacy won as well. That was the year they had the two tailbacks that were really good.
Right.
And then you go back to the 2021 year, it was 40 to 28. That may be the biggest gap so far.
Yeah, that's the one that would just Legacy had too much talent.
Okay. Actually, the 19 to 20 year was 34 to 7. That was the difference. So that was when they really separated themselves, but every year after that, it seems like the games have gotten closer and closer.
You lose against this. You lose this game to Legacy as a Tyler High coach. That gets you on the hot seat really quickly. I mean, it's just one of those games.
Man, it is.
You don't lose to Legacy.
I'm telling you, man.
You
Like
don't lose
things
to
just all right. Think about last year. Both of these teams were not that great last year, right? And but going into that game, both teams, the communities were saying the same thing. If we're gonna win any game, it's gonna be this one. It's gonna be this one, and that makes both coaches are kind of nervous when you go into that, because they already know, like, this is gonna be a tough year, but I can't lose this game, So that's why I think they're probably gonna play each other close. But I mean, I'm pretty sure one of these teams is probably significantly better than the other. Let's just be honest. One of them is probably really better.
Here's the thing for me. I think a reason that we picked it for the game of the week this week, the storylines are crazy. Because what if Legacy comes out and loses their first 2 games, one to Lufkin and one to Tyler High?
Yeah.
Then you got to look at Coach Trahan like, is he the right guy?
That's exactly what will happen.
That's not fair to him either, though.
It's not fair, but that's what's coming if he goes down 0-2 with that loss to Tyler High. And, on the other side of that, if Tyler High loses, we already seen how they're treating the coach over there.
But at least he has a win already this season.
He does have a win, but to the naysayers, that's where they're gonna put they flag in the ground right there.
It's a triple overtime win against Marshall.
It's hard to play this game.
The hard days. They took 3 overtimes to beat Marshall. Yeah. You got to win, dude. It's
still a win. It doesn't matter.
Celebrate.
It's still a win. A win.
Well,
if it takes 3 overtimes to beat, 3 overtimes to beat Lufkin or somebody in your district or Texarkana, okay. Now you 3-0 in district. You still gonna say something about
Yeah. Well, I guess speaking of wins, I guess we'll see how many wins we all predict this week in week 2. I'm looking to get a few extra than last week. I know we all are, as we're trying to climb in the standings. If you are looking for where you are in the standings, you can check out the app or the website to look where you were for week 1 and overall. I guess that's going to do it for week 2 of the Power Plus Mouth Guard Beast Texas show. Make sure you check out Power Plus Mouth Guards. There's a lot of good things trending upwards about those mouth guards. So, check them out, visit their website. For Brett, Jeremy, Vince, Kyle, and Corey, we'll catch you next time right here on the Northeast Texas Sports Network, Beast from the East show. See you, everyone.
truly, before now, I didn't really know what actually a mouthpiece was designed for, other than to keep you from clinking your teeth together or biting your tongue. I had no idea that it was to align your jaw. The season that we did not use the Power Plus, we lost 4 kids, 2 that were season-ending concussions, and obviously we contributed to the Power Plus mouth guard because, like I said, we've not had one since we've been using them. Obviously, we've competed a lot better than what we did last year. We have not had a concussion this season. Obviously, a tremendous factor for us for not losing kids, and their performance level is a lot higher as well. My son was actually the quarterback on the second state championship team, but one of the things that he was able to do as being the quarterback, the mouth guard was on the lower part of his bite, so he was able to speak clearly. And that's a huge thing in athletics, is to be able to communicate.
Here at L4 Media, we talk high school football, 4A, 3A, and 2A in Texas. We talk East Texas sports. We talk NFL, guy talk, movie and booze. We also talk wrestling and so much more. So like and subscribe and check us out.
Struggling with mobility, chronic pain, work, or sports injury? At Azalea Orthopedics, our team of highly trained physicians specialize in complete orthopedic care, pain management, sports medicine, physical medicine, and rehabilitation. If you've sustained a bone or joint injury, have mobility or movement problems, struggle with pain, contact Azalea Orthopedics. We're conveniently located across East Texas, serving 18 counties. When visiting your doctor, urgent care, or hospital, you have a choice. Demand Azalea. At Azalea Orthopedics, your health is our priority.